Hi everyone, welcome back. So let's continue from the one that we did earlier last video with this rectangle class, and yeah, we have this immutable objects where we put this line so that people cannot change the value or anything related to this object. So this is good, but there are times that we really maybe we require to allow the user to actually to change the value of the height and also the width. So in this case, so we're not going to have that. So probably we need to have, we can maintain the constructor, but we need to have this function like set height and also set width function. Yeah. In this case, this x will equals to value, and we probably need to set width as well. Yeah, let me update this one. Now as such, we can have this to actually control the access of this value. So I think we did this example earlier. We can say that the type of value equals to number, then only we perform this insert. Yeah, if not, then we will not update this this value or this attributes. Yeah, as such, we maintain the the correctness or the integrity of our object. So let me try. Let's set the width value to 10 and see if it will work. Yes, so we can change that. Now let's change it to an A. You can see that this A will not have any effect on this. Of course, you can also do things like, for example, if it's a value, and of course you say that if the value is larger than 0, so you don't want anything to go to be smaller than 0, so you prevent negative. As such, when I call these functions, that this is okay. Even now, I want to put a -4, for example. It just won't give my program an issue, right? As of now, this is so far so good. Yeah, so far so good. We use this kind of assessor functions, okay, to control the changes to our object. We're trying to do something of encapsulation, but there is a leak. What do I mean by there is a leak? Because even though I cannot do this, your user can insist to do this, right? So use this R and then dot the X, which is access this directly. So again, if you can see, the negative now is out. So we call this there's a breach here. So if you want to encapsulate it nicely, which means that we want to have all this, we want to keep it not accessible from outside the class. So as such, there's one way that we can turn these attributes into private is by introducing the hash function. Yeah. So once you have the hash function, make sure every place that you're using it, you just change it into a hash like that. Let me see if it's working. Yep. So why this hash is important? Because this hash will prevent us from calling it outside. Now, of course, now you can do it something like that, but it doesn't work because the X is not referring to this. This X is referring to somebody X. So if you try to put a hash here, refer to this, you realize that the code will not run. Yeah. So it will say that this is actually a private field, and it has to be only workable or legit inside this rectangle class. So as such, with this design, now we successfully create an object with encapsulation. Yeah, encapsulation. In other words, no one can mess with this x and y value other than calling our functions, where our functions have already proper control to don't decide whether if it's a valid value before we set into the our attributes. Now this is something really interesting. Now I want to show you another thing other than this would be the reference. Okay, now let's say if I create another variable, another rectangle, but reference, but I don't create the object, I do something like that. No, I say that this R is equivalent to R1. So let me try to use my console.log to actually call this get area and see if it works. Yeah, if it works. So you can see. So now, this R1 behave as if like it is a rectangle usual. So now I'm going to do this to set the width to 10. So it works, correct? Yeah. Now, what if I set the width to the R instead of R1? Okay, what will happen? You see, huh? You see? The value is also changed. Now, this is very important for us to take note that there's only one new rectangle being called. So no matter how many times, okay, how many references we create, all this reference, object reference, will only pointing to one single rectangle object. So meaning, if I change R via change the rectangle attributes via R, it will be the same for R1 and R2 because they are all pointing to the same thing. Yeah, same thing. So this is the idea of pointer referencing in object. So be very careful. Yeah. So if you want to have a new object, you always have to call this. This is going to give you another new object, and this will give you another new object. You see that R2 will get the default 2200, whereas the R, which is we already changed the set width to 10, and the R value will be different now because we call the new rectangle 3 times. In other words, we should have 3 rectangle object already, and each of them are independent, and you can make use of them separately. Yeah, so that's all for this video. So I hope you see 2 things. One thing is that we can actually turn certain of our attributes to private, so that we can actually achieve encapsulations to our object. And another thing I want to share with you is that the reference to the object is very important to know that we can have multiple reference pointing to one object, and such you do not confuse them with creating multiple objects. Yeah, so that's all for this video. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Yeah, thank you. Bye.